9, 8, 7. We have a go for main engine start. 4, 3, 2, 1, and liftoff.
What's up, SFL Nation? Welcome back to SFL Nights with AJ Strike. Thank you so much for joining me today or tonight or whenever you decided to hit that play button or turn on that radio dial. Really appreciate it, y'all. And I am joined with the host I'm joined with, the host with the most. Diggy, how are you today?
Feeling like a champion, even though I'll let you put an asterisk by it this season because we kind of. Yeah, we fell off. We missed a couple weeks there, but like you said, life happens. So.
Yes, indeed it does. It does. Well, welcome back. Thank you for being here again, Diggy. Thank you for joining us tonight, everyone. It's going to be kind of a shorter length show than you probably used to. Games are
2
pretty
hours.
Much wrapping up. Right, maybe.
Instead of 4.
Maybe. Games are now wrapping up. SFLm season is wrapping up, getting to draft time. We just had the rookie combine, which was something new that the league introduced. Awesome to see the rookies out there, showcasing their talents and their abilities. We'll talk about a little bit about that, as that's going to be our hot topic question. Thoughts on the combine, and was it a good idea to have it? And then on my fourth and goal interviews, I will be talking to Miss Brenda Puff. She is the defensive tackle for the Lexington Miners. I also have Mr. Defensive End Billy Ray Valentine over from Atlanta. And I have Mr. Michael Percoco. He is the GM for the Vancouver Legion. I think he's actually on their O-line as well. So it's going to be some interesting conversations that we're going to be having this evening. Congratulations to everybody. Fantastic season. Even if you didn't make it to the playoffs at this point, great season. This was a time for you to get your progressions in. This is a time for you to kind of get used to what a locker room will be like because the draft is right around the corner. Speaking of which, hot topic question of the night is, what did you think about the combine? The rookie combine. I thought it was amazing. First time the league's ever done anything like that. Great idea to kind of showcase the game and the capabilities of what it could do so you can actually kind of see those plays stop and actually see those players performing specifically their positions to see what you need to work on, things of that nature. I thought it was really cool to see. I loved all the rookie conversations that were happening in the chat, scrolling up and down, watching their players kind of perform. And there are some shining stars out there, especially on offensive line and in the running back category that I saw. But Diggy, what about you? Did you get a chance to check it out? Because I saw I think I saw like half of it.
I was in and out on it. The guys that took that big chunk of time to do that out, thanks to them for taking that. The way I thought it was going to go, I really thought it was just going to be kind of like a shorter thing, but that thing was like 2 hours or so.
Yeah.
It was a long time. So props to them for toughing that one out. I know it was tedious going back and forth and kind of finding new things to talk about when you're watching the same plays over and over and over and over for each person. But I thought it was very beneficial, especially this season for scouts, GMs, and owners. and coaches, all we've been seeing is what's been on the game we're leaving. And it's hard to really look at some of these players that are, may have a team that needs a quarterback, or may have a team that needs a running back or wide receiver or linebacker, and say, hey, did you see my game last week? Or hey, watch this, I made a good play. It was like, it has to really be taken with a grain of salt, because we don't know if that's exactly going to transfer over to the new game. Just like we don't know. There could be star players that we've had for years past that are going to be a dud when the next game comes out, build or not. You just don't know if that player's play is going to transition over. So it was good to see their numbers and builds in the new game. So that's what I liked. I have to go back and rewatch some stuff, because like I said, 2 hours was a long time. So I'm going to go back, because like I said, I probably got about half of it. Like you, I was in and out. But that like I said, that was the best part of it. From here forward, I mean, we're all going to be on the same game again. I don't know how they're going to do it. I know this was like a good trial run start, and I'm kind of excited to see what they're going to do with the next one, knowing the feedback that they're going to get from this one. Maybe shorten it up, or find a way to add graphics or something to kind of spice it up and keep it interesting and flowing. So I'm interested in it. I think it'd be good to see how it runs for the second time. But I think it really played an important role, and props to them for coming up with that, especially with the transition and giving the teams a chance to really see what they might be drafting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a whole different thing, and it brings you that one step closer to being kind of like the real thing. So
I'm gonna tell you, if it was me, I probably would have been the dude that was. I think I'm okay. I'm gonna sit out the combine.
Yeah, right. Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. And then,
some people probably wish they did sit out the combine, but
maybe. But either way, I liked it. And I can't wait. Like you said, I can't wait to see how they add things to it. But when something is a raw idea, sometimes
mm-hmm.
you just work with what you got. But those guys did a fantastic job. Rookies did a fantastic job. I plan on having kind of like I want to do like a rookie podcast where I get a bunch of rookies on, like I've done in the past. So rookies, if you guys are interested, I've had about 26 people on the show at one time. I do have the capability of still doing that. So if you'd like to be on, want to do it probably next Friday.
For the draft.
Recording for that. Right. So y'all just come through. Let me know. All right. On to our 4th and Goal interviews. All right. What is up, SFL Nation? And we are back with my 4th and Goal interview, Rookie Nights. And I have here with me the beautiful Miss Brenda Puff. She is defensive tackle for the Lexington Miners, who just secured a 3rd seed in the playoffs.
Yeah, we did. It's pretty exciting.
Awesome. Well, Brenda, it's very nice to meet you.
You as well.
And I love seeing women involved in the league. It's one of the best things you can do, especially if you're a sports fan.
No, I did. When I first joined the league, I was surprised that there weren't a ton of women involved. So it's been neat to speak to you and a few other women. I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm not alone. This is fantastic. So it's been a lot of fun. Thank you for having me on.
I'm glad to have you. So I have a few fun questions for you to get started, just to try to get to know you. So if you don't mind, would you give us your hometown? If you'd like to give us your age, you can. You don't have to. It's up to you. Your hometown, interesting fact about yourself, and your favorite NFL team.
All right. So my hometown and NFL team kind of go hand in hand. I'm from Cleveland, Ohio, and of course that means I have to root for the Browns no matter what the situation is. I have to root for them. It's just a thing. So yeah, I'm in Cleveland. We're an interesting fact is we're getting ready to upgrade houses. The kids are growing and ours is not. So we need a little bit more space. So we're on the market right now, and hopefully within the next year we'll be in a bigger place. I'm 32, and it's not slowing down any, but I am 32, and I have two amazing little ones. So
beautiful. Listen, I totally understand that. I have two as well. 38. I'll be 39 on Monday, so I totally get it. So we have a lot more in common than we think.
I like it.
So
what are your birthday plans? Anything exciting?
My GM came up with the best idea ever. He said, Ashley, because I'm always on the go, I'm always doing things. So he said, look, just take time out for yourself. Either send the children to go spend some time with a neighbor or put them to bed early, take a nice hot bubble bath, maybe get you some champagne and just enjoy this time. And I was like, sounds wonderful. So I think I may just do that.
I think you should.
Indeed. We have to. So, Brenda, have you ever played sports before?
Well, I grew up shooting, if that means anything. And then if you consider bowling a sport, I was in a league one time in my life. Beyond that, no. I think my 6-year-old can outthrow me. It's just not, nope.
Actually, shooting is a type of sport.
Well,
Yeah. And then bowling. We have a lot of people that are in bowling leagues that are in our league. So
I don't feel so bad. I did love bowling and I got made up so hard for it, but it's a complete blast. Love it. And my older brother, he still bowls avidly every week in a bowling league, and that's his thing. I get pictures of his scores every week, and I do love it. It's a lot of fun. But no, anything actually physical, I sit behind a desk for a living. It does not suit me well.
Oh, I understand that too. Like I said, we have more in common than you think. How did you find the league, and why did you decide to join?
Yeah. So my better half is in the league as well. And he is one of those guys where he likes to just research and find fun things to do. The kids really got into watching football with us last year. And when it ended, they kept asking, when's it coming back on? When can we watch it again? So we were up one night and he comes to me and goes, babe, I found this thing called simulation football. I'm going, okay, nerd alert. What are we looking at? Okay, here we go. And so he joins, and the first week he puts the game on the TV and we all gather around. Well, they call his name the first week and the kids go nuts. And we're like, all right, so maybe this is something cool. And we keep going, like a couple of nights go by and we're up one night and maybe had one too many drinks after the kids were in bed. Next thing I know, I'm handing him my credit card and we're making a player. So that's how I ended up here. We're doing it together. We're having a lot of fun with it. We're, his team will play and my team will play, and the kids sit and they watch all the games with us. And every time they say our names, they're up shouting and cheering. And so it's a lot of fun. But yeah, that's how we stumbled across it, quite literally.
That is wonderful. And that's what I love about this league. That's why I think a lot of people continue to be a part of it, even if they're not a player, is because of the family, the camaraderie that you have, and then being able to even take that into your own real life and have people get interested. So yeah, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. So
how easy or how difficult was the process of you actually creating the player and joining the league?
So I would like to say I have a ton of memory of that process. I don't have a ton of memory of that. No. So I didn't actually do a whole lot of it. I gave him my credit card and said, hey, babe, let's, you put it in. I told him what I wanted, and it was really easy. We did it within, I think, 10 minutes it was done. So it was a very easy, quick process. We kind of had in mind already what I wanted to do with it over the back and forth of, hey, you did that with your player, I'd do it this way with mine. So it was a pretty quick, easy, I told you so situation.
Fantastic. Now, how did you feel when you first entered your locker room?
So I'm on teams quite a bit, just working. It felt to me like it was just another form of communication like you would with work, right? You always have the chat rooms up and running. So it was really normal. It didn't feel awkward at all. It's been fun to sit there and read everybody go back and forth. There's obviously been pre-existing relationships. These guys have been on the team for a season. So it was really neat to step in and see the friendships, the bonds that have already been created. It was obviously cool to be put on Lexington because at the time we were the #1 team and I was like, holy crap, I am a lucky gal. So it was pretty exciting.
All right. Beautiful. What made you decide on your particular player position at defensive tackle?
Yeah.
And did you model your player after anyone in real life, perhaps on the Cleveland Browns,
No, so defensive tackle is not a very sexy position, but it seemed like one when I was looking at everything with Chris, is my better half's name. We were looking at all the other players, and it seemed like a position that would have value to the team. It didn't seem like there were a ton of players in that position. It was just kind of a gap, and I wanted to have a meaningful position for whatever team I ended up on. Mm-hmm. So that's the direction we went there. And then I actually modeled him after Ernest Ladd. He was in the 60s. He was with WWE, and then he was on the Chargers and the Oilers. And there was one other pro team, and I can't remember what the team was. But he's the only player to ever be inducted in the WWE Hall of Fame and then the Pro Football Hall of Fame. So he was actually in real life, he was 6'9" and then 300 some odd pounds. Our league's limits are 6'7", so we had to stick at 6'7". But my grandfather was a massive WWE fan. And I remember as a kid, I'd sit on the couch with him and he'd just be rooting and hollering and be like, can you believe they're really hitting each other? They're throwing each other around. I'm sitting back going, I don't think that's real. But so we ended up, it just kind of all came together. So we used the year I was born, 91, right? And we modeled my player after him. And it's just kind of a fun little family memory tied to doing football together.
I love it. And that actually ties into my next question that I have for you. Does your player name or your player number or even the player itself have any significant meaning to it?
Yeah, it most certainly does. And then as for the name, I may have misunderstood the assignment. So I really thought it meant put your true name in for the player. So my real name is Brenda Puff. So my player gets to be Brenda Puff, and we just used the year I was born. It seemed really easy.
Nothing wrong with it. My real name is Ashley Jackson. So
good.
I guess we had the same assignment. We were on the same page.
It's the mama wavelengths.
Exactly. But I actually wanted to hear my name being called on the field. I know that you can choose to role play if you like, choose whatever name you like. But for me, I would never go out here and be a quarterback for the Arizona Cardinals or the Atlanta Falcons or the Bears, which are my favorite teams, by the way. But it's just something about that excitement that you get when you make that major play, when I can launch that ball downfield, my wide receiver was able to catch it and run it in for a touchdown or catch it in the end zone. So, and hearing Ashley Jackson was the one to do that, versus, I don't know, AJ Strike, which is one of my other names I go by. So, I get it.
You get your little thrill. You're like, oh, that's me. I did that. Okay, check me out.
Exactly. But would you like to be involved in the league would you like to be involved being more than just a player? So being on the broadcast team, being on the stats team, or maybe writing a few articles or creating podcasts.
Articles I would be open to. I'd have to really look into it a little more. It really depends on the amount of time that it requires right now with raising a family and then a hectic work schedule. But if it's something to where I could kind of do it based off of my schedule, I would be more than happy to. And broadcasting would be a complete blast, but that's just commitment I can't do at this stage in their lives. Time will tell. We'll see what kind of pops open and what might fit into my life. And I think it would be a lot of fun to get more involved.
Indeed, especially now with the writing, that can definitely work around your schedule. So if you just figure out something that you want to write about, league related, that people get involved in, they love things like that. And we can definitely use that spark in the writers department. So you're welcome.
It'd be something worth talking about. I'd enjoy that.
All right. So what type of personality will you be bringing to someone's locker room?
So I typically don't say a whole lot. Okay. I'll scroll through them, right, all throughout the day. There's always something going on. And then I see something that might pique my interest, and I'll throw in. I think the last time we were talking about jerseys, and I went and did a quick custom jersey made and like snapped in a picture of it. It's just, when I see something and I have a second, I can go like, oh, I can respond to that real quick. I will. Beyond that, I am not a massive talker. I like to kind of sit in the background, eat my popcorn, do my progressions every week. And then if they ask me to do something else, I'll go ahead and do it.
Yes. And ultimately, that is what teams need. I mean, it's depending on the expectations of the locker room, which I will ask you about your expectations of the locker room that you will be joining. But before that, you can choose the experience that you want to have as long as you communicate that with the team. So no one's worried about you. But if you're making your progressions all the time, you can be as quiet as you want, as long as, everything is getting done the way it's supposed to be. And we understand life happens ultimately. Life is first. Real life is first. So, but what are your expectations of your coaches and of your teammates of the locker room that you'll be joining?
First and foremost, progressions, ideally, like making sure. I know that I've been watching a lot of the, hey guys, you don't do it within 2 weeks, not just in our team, but in general, right? You're not doing it within 2 weeks, you're out. And some of these people get pulled up and I'm going, how have you not done this in how many weeks? So I really just want to make sure that the team I'm on, everyone is committed to moving their person forward. And then when it comes to the coaches, just clear communication. If you're looking at my stuff and going, what were you thinking? That was a bonehead move. Next year, put your progression here. Just tell me, because at the end of the day, same with you, right? I want my name set on TV. The kids want my name set on TV. That's first and foremost. I love watching them laugh and giggle. So just open line of communication. Everyone do your part and have fun.
Awesome. So how will you build how will your players build the way that you chose to build your player be beneficial to your future team?
No, that's a good question. I think I'm really going to rely on and again, I've only been in here now this will be my 4th week. So I'm going to really rely on the guidance of the coaches. I've had the opportunity to speak to a few different coaches and kind of get their feedback on what I should and shouldn't be doing. Right now, I've really been working on my pass rush. I just think in the position that I am, that's something that I should really, when you sack the quarterback and just kind of find a niche, stick with it, and then move to the next area. And if anyone has, again, any way to shape and mold me, I am all ears about it. Right now, I'm just kind of going with, this makes sense to me, but I'll be the first to admit, if it doesn't fit the mold, tell me how to do it, and we'll mold it a different way.
And that's a beautiful way to look at things, because my next question was, when you're progressing, do you take the coach's advice or do you do your own thing, or is it a collaborative effort? And I think in your case, it'd be very smart of you to take that advice, and then kind of, once you have an understanding of it, then you can kind of start adding your own spice to it, and then even letting your coaches know. But it is the communication factor. That is the most important part. If you guys can communicate, if you can tell them, like, look, I want to be able to do this. How do I do this? How do I get there? They are responsible for guiding you. And if you ever need anything, if you ever need any guidance, we have a lot of people here that are more than willing to help give you some advice about that.
Beautiful. Thank you. That's great.
Very well. So what are you looking forward to it being in the SFL the most? Is it just the accolades that you may have, or is it the teams you may join in the future?
Yeah, so there's a few things there, right? One is the continued family time. I know that that's not why we're here, but family is so important in my life, and doing this not only with my better half, but with the kids, it's a blast. We love it. The oldest wants to make a character himself. We're contemplating it. We'll see if he sticks with us. And then when it comes to playing, I don't have a lot of outlets outside of work. Again, I'm on the road quite a bit. And then outside, it's the kids. So it's neat to have a community. And for me, it's really, I've met a few people already. I spoke to a lady the other night, and I just adored her, thought she was fantastic. So it's for me, it's another way to have an outlet to create some kind of bonds and friendships. Even if I'm not a great speaker when it comes to the groups, I feel like I'm part of something. So I think that's really what I'm looking forward to the most, is kind of watching everything blossom and just kind of see where it takes us.
Fantastic. The rookie draft is upon us. You were part of the rookie combine. You've now played, well, you're still playing, but you've enjoyed the SFLm for nearly a whole season. What has that experience been like for you? And what does it feel like to actually be in the playoffs at this point?
So it's actually pretty exciting. My better half, Chris Arthur, he's on the Rattlesnake, so he's also in the playoffs. Yes. And we're kind of taking bets, right? We're going back and forth. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a wild ride. We started out when I first joined the team, we were 0-6, and then we were 0-5, and then when I joined, we won one, and then we lost, and I'm going, well, maybe I'm not a lucky charm here. Maybe this isn't good for the team. But it's been such a fun experience. I mean, I'm really thrilled that he decided to take my credit card away and go ahead and move forward with us doing this together, because I have gotten to meet a lot of fun people. And then just at home, it's something to do. We gather every week. He sticks it on the TV, and if our games conflict, the TV's got my game, the laptop underneath has his game. So it's really neat to do. Love it.
Do you make snacks and have like wings? And
kids eat popcorn because it's so close to their bedtime. So we have their popcorn all made, and then he and I are over there with our vodka and water hiding in like our, little mugs, waiting for them to go to bed.
I love it. I love it. So the draft is coming up, and I'm curious to know, now, of course, you can choose not to answer this. I totally understand. And please don't tell me who, okay? Have you been reached out? Has teams been reaching out to you now that it's so close to draft time? And how are you feeling? Are you feeling a little bit nervous? Are you feeling confident? What's your thought process right now?
Yeah, I've spoken to a few teams.
Nice.
I've really enjoyed speaking to, it's been a lot of fun. I don't think I feel nervous. I can't say I feel confident. I think that if a team sees me and they've had the chance to speak to me and I meet the mold they're looking for in their group, fantastic. I'd love to join. If not, I'm just not the right fit for them. I wouldn't want them to bring me into something if they felt like I would conflict with their team. If everyone passes by me, that just means my player isn't ready yet. And I don't want to see anybody else fail because, we jumped the gun and put me into something. So I am curious to see what happens, to say the least. I think it would be a lot of fun to do, but I think I'm still new enough that I'm not sure how it all works, and I'm just kind of waiting to see what happens next. Where is this gonna land? And am hopeful. I'll say I am hopeful that there's one in particular. I'm hopeful to have the chance to join.
Okay,
so, yeah.
I love it. Well, make sure you let them know. But now, last question, and I'm going to ask you a couple fun questions because I know time is limited.
Okay.
Do you? Oh, I just had it. Wait a minute. Please forgive me. It's still early. Brenda.
It's the weekend. I get
it. Oh, so would you prefer to be on a team with your husband? Does that matter to you? Or would you prefer to be on a separate team and maybe keep that rivalry going? Because I can understand it both ways, because we have a lot of couples in the league. So
we've talked about this quite a bit. Ultimately, right, at the end of the day, it would be amazing to be on the same team together. We have plans, right? We're going to do our swag thing. We're going to, do it with the kids. It'd be a lot of fun. It'd give us that whole camaraderie. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. He's a tight end first year as well. And we, there's a lot of, so it's iffy. At the end of the day, would it be nice? Of course. If it doesn't happen this year, we'd have it another year, because I don't think this is going to end anytime soon. The oldest is 8. We have 10 years left of him being in the house, and he holds on to things. So we can always make it happen at some point, but ideally, it would be pretty cool to be on the same team together.
Okay. Love it. All right. Fun question time.
Okay.
So what is a moment in your life that you are most proud of at this moment?
Most proud of at this moment.
Mm-hmm.
It's a hard one. I think outside of the kids on a daily basis, right? Watching them grow and learn and knowing that they've been a part of that and pushing them. I think that's probably I can't pinpoint a single moment. It's every day. It's something new. Every day, it's another reason to smile and go, you did that. I'm so proud of you. Whether it's silliness, like, oh, look, they just put their dish in the sink. Or this morning, the oldest took out the trash and put it to the curb. And I'm going, oh my goodness. Because like, I have to do, it's just, all of those little things. I think, they're the building blocks of life. They make life worth living. So.
I totally agree. I get excited about the little small things too. Oh, you picked it up? I didn't have to tell you to pick it up. If you could eat,
go ahead. Yes.
I'm sorry.
Beyond that, it's just life, it's work, it's you've had the opportunity to kind of build this life and see it continue to go and be that example for others around you and just try to be the best person you can be. And I think just being happy that I've turned into the person I have, I'm proud that I'm able to be this example not only for the kids but also for the people I work with in the community. So I think those are really, there's no one moment. It's just trying to live the life the best way that I can.
Indeed. That's all you can do at the end of the day.
Yeah.
If you could eat one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be and why?
Easy enough. Okay. Mac and cheese. I am a huge macaroni and cheese fan. It is like my favorite meal, but I work so hard to eat little carbs. So when I do eat it, it's like this much and it destroys me on the inside. But I would eat that every meal, every day for the rest of my life and be so happy. And it sounds disgusting, but Golden Corral. Are you familiar with Golden Corral?
I am.
Okay. And I know it's gross. So I grew up going to Golden Corral and they're nasty, nasty buffets that you just don't want to eat at because everyone's sneezing at it. It's the best macaroni and cheese. And I'm just like, I just want to go eat it so bad.
Oh, yeah. And then COVID happened and then you just backed away altogether. But
completely. It's like it's gone.
But I've been to Golden Corral one time and then I heard all the stories and I was like, I didn't even think about it. But they did have some creamy mac and cheese, but there is nothing like Southern mac and cheese from Georgia. I'm from Georgia. Down south, I don't know what it is. This is why. But I agree. Mac and cheese is very good. So you are trapped on a deserted island, and only have 3 things with you. What are they and why?
Okay. I feel like there's a lot of caveats to this I want to ask about, but we're just going to go with this information. I'm going to make some horrible assumptions. So
okay, I'll give you this. Just like I did the Hands Brothers. You have water sources. You have trees.
Do things grow on the trees or are they just sitting there with leaves?
Things grow.
Okay. So I think my answer is going to stay the same. I would say I have 4 cats, by the way. And my oldest one is 13 and she's, I think, 12 pounds at this point.
Wow.
So I take her, a bottle of vodka, and then a knife. You gave me, I think we know where this is going, but she is my best friend in the whole wide world. And if I am lonely, I need her company. However, if I need protein, gonna last a couple of days and I need the vodka to get through it. So I think it all plays together pretty well.
I almost lost my coffee. Oh gosh. And I can see you out there now. Oh, oh okay.
Yep.
You're walking. That's gonna tickle me all day. Okay. You're walking down the street. And there's a song that plays every time you come out the house. They know Brenda's coming. What is it?
Well, the kids would say it's the Darth Vader theme song, the da 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 da. Outside of that, I would probably say Eye of the Tiger, just because we always have it played at work, and we just roll with it. So I'm always talking about and singing about tigers. So probably that, or Roar, right?
That's right. Okay. Two more.
Okay.
That's it. If you could have dinner with anyone that's either living or not living with us anymore, that's either famous or not famous, who would it be and why?
Elon Musk.
Really?
I adore that man. I say I adore that man. I am extremely curious about that man. I think he's got an incredible mind, and I'd love just to have an opportunity to understand the way he thinks and really dive into how he makes the decisions that he makes. What were his, what does he take into consideration when making decisions? I think there's a lot to learn from him. So I think, Elon Musk would be the guy.
Okay. I think you're the first person to say.
I'm in. You can hook me up.
There you go. I see what you did there. And the last question is, if you had a chance to explore in depth, space or the ocean, which one would it be and why?
Is it cool to ask that question this week?
I get your point, but apparently that was
I'm going to go with space. No, I'm actually horrified of water. I love to sit and look at it. I love being on a boat wants to being too far away from the land or actually getting into the ocean. Nope, not for me. And I've always adored outer space. It's been, if I had, what is that, 350,000 to take that private thing, I would wouldn't even have to ask me twice. I would be up there in an instance. So I would definitely be all about, put me in space.
Okay. I'm getting a lot of space. People are tending to be very apprehensive about the water, and that was before this whole situation.
Yeah.
But it's crazy because it's only 5% has been explored. So it's like we're living on this rock with this big body of water. We have no idea what's there.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Or we have all of this space that continues and continues. It's
endless. I mean, there's so much to see. I don't want to get into the aliens, not aliens, but who knows what is out there? There's just so much to explore. And I'm like, I don't want to go do that. I want to go step on another planet. How cool would that be? It probably doesn't feel any different than stepping on Earth, but still, I want to do it.
Have you seen Sliders? Are you familiar with Sliders?
No. What is that?
Okay. So it was a show. Probably in the 90s.
Okay.
And it was about planets. Like, this group of people would go to different planets, and it would basically be them on alternate planets. So they'll see themselves doing different things, being different people, being each other, being other forms. And I've always thought of space being like that, of just being able to just experience different things on different planets. You may even see yourself out there.
That would be so cool. It's called Sliders, huh?
Yes. And I don't know why it was canceled. I just love that show, and I would watch it every Friday.
Okay, I'll check. I was always a big X-Files fan.
I love Mulder and Scully. Oh my gosh.
Oh my! Mulder is he doesn't know this yet, but I promise you, he is my future ex-husband. Love of my life right there. I actually have an X-Files tattoo. I love X-Files.
Now that is an interesting fact. And I always thought they should have been together. I've always wanted them to be together, and I'm like, why didn't they write it?
Well, even the last season, right, when they came, was it the 10th or the 11th season? I can't remember if they ended on 10 or 11. They didn't even end it with them together. Instead, they ended it with their son Will somehow being this alien that takes off, but it's not even his son. It turns out to be the smoking man's son, and it's just like, you're killing me. I don't know how to feel about any of this.
Just like my thoughts with Game of Thrones, just ended it. I don't know where the story went, but that's a whole nother thing. But Brenda, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Before I let you go, do you have any questions for me?
What made you get into simulation football? What? I'd love to hear this story. Okay.
Well, I first gained a love of sports from my father. He was an Atlanta Braves, Falcons fan. So I would often watch the games with him. Then my ex-husband got me into football and actually understanding it more in depth because I was in the marching band in high school, so I was at every game, but I just I didn't understand what I was watching. I just saw them cross the line with the ball, and everybody's going okay. But now I can see a horse collar, and be able to call it, things of that nature. So, and so my friend Swole, which she probably is the Albuquerque Adams coach, was in the league, and he got me into it, got me introduced. I talked to Cam, heard the first broadcast with Cam and Andy Hamilton, which is the owner for Vancouver. Heard those, oh my gosh, and I was just sucked in. Started my career in Tulsa. Now I am co-owner of the Arizona Scorpions as well as quarterback. Just a lot, a lot has happened over the past 9 seasons I've been here.
Crazy.
Yeah. And it goes by so fast, Brenda, when you're having a good time and when you're so involved. You feel like you're getting your money's worth because you're learning different things. When you're a broadcaster, you get to learn how to do that. You probably would never get that opportunity in real life. So you got here and to try that. For me, it was writing and even doing stats. I never tried it in real life, but I was able to do it here. So that's how I got in the league, and that's pretty much why I stayed, because you're always learning. Yeah.
That's amazing. Well, I'm really glad we had the opportunity to do this, and thank you for that. That is so cool.
You're very welcome, and please come back on whenever you want to. My door is always open for you. And I cannot let you go without giving you the last words. That can be a song. You can sing a song, you can recite a poem, or give us a simple shout out. Right now, Brenda, floor is yours.
I'm walking on sunshine. No, no, just thank you. Thank you for the lessons and minors, guys. I'm really enjoying again being on the team. I appreciate it. We've got some great coaches and then coordinators. So just thank you, everybody. And then my better half, Chris, for putting up with my back and forth with him during every game. It's been a lot of fun. So that's it. Thank you so much. So I really appreciated this.
You're very welcome. And I was looking forward to see what you do in the playoffs. Good luck to you.
Thank you, ma'am. Happy birthday.
Thank you, Brenda.
Bye.
What is up, SFL Nation? And we are back with my 4th and Gold interview featuring a good friend of mine that hasn't been on the show in a while, but I understand. Mr. Michael Percoco is offensive lineman for the Vancouver Legion, as well as Coco, you got some explaining to do.
I think I have an active subscription. I think that's about it.
Yeah, you definitely got some explaining to do. But man, first, before we get into all of that, how have you been, like, personally? And I know you had your babies. I know you've been going on vacation and good stuff. So what's been going on?
Good. It's been interesting. It's been relaxing, I guess you could say. I took, I did the minors last season, and then of course we had the SFL season. So after that, I was able to take a break. So as of late, it's been good. All season was good. All season's always good in the SFL. You always need to be able to reset. Most people will tell you that.
Very important.
I can't complain.
Good. It's very important to reset because before you know it, especially when you're trying to balance real life, then
Well, there we go. And I'm on vacation, so I have to apologize to people because I'm on a phone. So.
Oh no, it's okay.
Which is good. I'm on vacation. Hey,
Exactly. Like, shoot, I wish you would have took me your suitcase.
No ownership fees. You can afford vacation.
It's a beautiful thing when you can do that. 4 children.
Yeah.
I'm still surprised you got all that hair. Listen, I couldn't do it. But
that's believe me, every day I look in the mirror and I think Eddie's going to stare back at me any day now.
You know he gonna have something to say about that as soon as he sees it. So, looks like, okay. Guys, we have a special guest that wanted to come in just because he knew Coco was gonna be here. I call for Michael Coco for short. I always have my Coco, aka the raccoon. But a good friend wanted to actually come in and join him on the show. And he is Mr. Billy Ray Valentine, defensive end for the Atlanta Swarm. How you doing?
Oh man. I wasn't expecting that.
You said you would. Billy?
Billy, you there?
Oh no.
Oh no, BRV.
So I don't even see his mic. So Billy, do me a favor. If you can hear me, come out and rejoin the room again. I'll add you because I don't see your microphone. If he leaves, that means he heard me.
Well, I'll give people like a little thing while we have silence up. For Billy Ray and I, when we first came into the league, we played together for Madison, and we were both defensive ends. And it was the first season of the SFLm, and it was a unique relationship because, I mean, most people know Billy Ray Valentine. The memes were very easy for me to take on, and we had a really good relationship from there on out. And he went to Atlanta, and I went to Vancouver, and we haven't really been able to be teammates since. And I got moved to O-line. That was the other thing. He's got to enjoy himself.
That'll definitely do it. Hold on, let me see. While we're waiting for Billy to get his stuff together right now. Tell me, so when I was introducing you, there were 3 titles that I used to know you by. And that you were a coach, you were also co-owner, and you were also a GM. And now you're not. So what happened, man?
Yeah, I mean, so for the past couple seasons, for people that don't know, Andy and I and James Walters was also mixed in there. Offense, defense. The 3 of us mixed around. We've done that for the past couple seasons. Coaching always burns you out. And then, I was fortunate enough for Andy to give me the opportunity to become an owner. I was also the GM, which I think sometimes goes hand in hand with coaching in this league, especially when we all pro football. You're looking at sims all day, so sometimes GM just, you know what players are going to do, you know what you kind of look for in players inside the game. So then you just kind of have to be that kind of person who's able to find them outside the game as well. And then, so that just led to ownership. And I did that for a season. And, ownership was, it was interesting. Want to say hi?
Hi. Nice to meet you.
Hi. That's the DC Dragons tight end one right there.
Yeah.
And
I need to get her on the interview too. Tell her I would.
Yeah. She's harder to get than I am. And so I mean, it was an interesting journey, and obviously the league went to the switch this season, and it's not that, I felt like I was kind of reaching my burnout point, and it was a good time for me with Andy had taught me a lot, but I also taught myself a lot, and this is my chance to kind of take a rest and a reset, because I didn't mind as coaching as well, and I was fortunate enough to take the Lynx to the championship. It was always a good experience being there. So
Good. I mean, I know you. I know it was like I remember you having that picture of Andy in your on your wall. It was hilarious. Like when I first saw it. But
Yeah.
Hopefully, I don't know if you can hear me or not. I'm assuming I don't know if you told them what's going on. This was partially my idea, but
yeah.
I remember the draft. He was drafted a pick or two before me, and again, you mentioned the picture, and I still remember watching the draft. He had that picture of Andy, and it was like it was perfect.
You thought I was a better defensive end with defensive end.
That was probably one of the more perfect drafts I've ever seen.
You were so full of it. I remember I went before Billy Ray, and I was like, Andy's such an idiot. I'm like, man, I would have taken Billy Ray in like a second before I took myself. I was like, I was second round material. Billy Ray was definitely first round material. So, but we had
my
fun,
brother from another mother.
Billy Ray, I am so glad you made it.
Looking good.
I'm glad I could make it, and I'm glad we were able to work this out. First and foremost, before anything, let me say happy belated birthday to you. I don't know when this is going to air, but I want to make sure I get it out there in the SFL universe that if anyone has or has not, make sure you wish Miss Ashley Jackson a happy early or belated birthday.
Happy 30th.
He's turning all of young 27, if I remember correctly.
Oh, I haven't seen 27 in a long time, dear. Hey,
I'm trying to make you feel better, hon.
I appreciate it. Well, I'm happy either way. I'm 39. I don't have an issue with telling my.
Yeah,
but still, I'm trying to make you feel better.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it, Billy. I really do, and that means a lot, especially being away from my family. They back in Georgia. I'm all the way out here in Arizona. So getting the birthday wishes and all of that kind of stuff, it does help. So I appreciate it, y'all. But Billy, right now, you were not on when I asked Coco this question, so I have to ask you.
All right.
Give us an interesting fact about yourself. Actually, yeah. Give us an interesting fact about yourself that many people don't know. Now, I know you've been on my show a long time ago, right?
I think probably like about minor days drafting.
Yeah.
Right around the draft time. So it's been a few years, but if I had to say an interesting fact, I am a dealer at a local casino.
Really?
Yes. I spend the bulk of my days as a living taking people's money willingly. To put it nicely.
Yeah. If you don't mind me asking, if you can share, cool. If not, I understand. But what was the biggest tip you ever got in one
night? Actually, just last night, we got a tip of $2,800.
Oh.
Maybe I need to go and.
Yeah.
I'll admit, we share tips as a team. Okay. So both day shift and night shift, no matter what day you work, we all pull tips on a weekly basis. But just yesterday alone, one of our dealers pulled us a $2,800 tip on one hand of blackjack.
That must have been a good hand.
You know it.
Yeah, it was.
You know.
I'm not exactly sure. I think the player himself won roughly around 20 grand, give or take, but he had a $15 side bet for the dealers, and we walked away with like 2,700. So
amazing. That is amazing. Whew. I remember those days. But was never like that though. Never like that.
no,
Just,
yeah, that's one of the good days. Not always that good.
Gentlemen.
Normally it's $1 or $2 here or there, but I'll take it.
Billy, when you were trying to, get logged in and then trying to get your mic and stuff taken care of, Coco mentioned that guys are on Madison, that whole experience of being, on the team together. Give me your take on that. What was it like being on the team with this man here? I can only imagine that locker room.
I was
pretty timid back then.
Really?
Yeah, it was an experience in itself. The minors gave me a look into the majors, but I would like to think, even though we may not talk very much, I still have a few connections to my minor league contacts. The connections I have with my major league team have no comparison to the minors. It's like night and day.
And that was because we won that season too, and that's always, whenever you win a championship, I think you always build that bond.
It was actually season 1. It was the initial. It was the inaugural championship.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why I stayed there for so long coaching, is just because I got to see what that bond was like and how it transpired across the league, and how I stayed in contact with all those players. And I know, like, as an owner / GM, like, people constantly would knock the SFLm. But it was probably one of the stronger points of the league, was the minors. And people on teams now, like Billy Ray said, they have stronger bonds with those people that they played with their first 2 seasons in the minors than they do on their current teams. And we're proof, because like there's ATL games that, like, I watch, and I'm there pretty much to watch Billy Ray. I tell Swole that I'm there to watch him. But it's,
and the same as, I'll admit, I'm not gonna lie, I don't catch a lot of games nowadays, my days, but when I can, if I see a Vancouver's playing, I'm gonna load up the feed just so I can watch my boy Percoco.
I'm online now, so it's a little different. It's a little different watching.
My boy from, he's Ashley. I know I said this to you beforehand, but for the people who may not have seen it before, imagine Monster Zeke. He's my Mike to my Sully.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
He's telling me up, down, up, down, up, down. I'm jumping up and down and up and down and up and down.
It was, and I'm not gonna lie, like, that was the one. Atlanta was always a team that I looked at, because I would always look to see, like, who the defensive and the defensive tackles were on that team, because I'd always thought of joining that front line. But if it wasn't for the coach GM thing, I kind of put myself in Vancouver, and I had to stay there my entire career. So, but yeah, it was definitely something.
Personally, I think you made an excellent choice, Mike, and I don't fault. I think you've done more than I would have expected, and considering day one.
Yeah, I did more than I expected, but I think we both stayed in the league for a very long time, and we're still here all this time.
What is it going on now? 6-7 seasons?
I don't even know. I don't know how much money I've given Cam at this point. Just kidding, Cam. You put out a good product, even though you ain't gonna listen to this anyway.
You know,
Hey, we're still here.
That was going to be my next point. Why do you guys stay here? Like, what is your purpose for continuously being a part of the league? I mean, some people say we're ultra nerds for sitting here watching the video game like this, or, you know, they have different things, but what keeps you here ultimately?
If I may first, for me, it gives me a sense of personal escape. You know, with everything going on nowadays, you know, just even looking at my normal schedule, you know, I get 3 days off a week. Today is one of them, which is why I tried to coordinate this for today. Half of today I spent out running errands. I feel like the SFL gives me an escape that whether I get into whether I need to be there or not.
Yeah.
And I think that's like one of the big, at least for me, that's one of the big things. I mean, yes, come the season, you got to do your weekly check-ins, but whether you're there or not, it's always there for you. I mean, I feel like I could hop into general chat, I could hop into the locker room chat and not miss a beat. If I get busy with work or life, so be it. Everyone understands they are all going, you know, a lot of us are going through a lot of similar issues. So for me, I feel like I don't want this to sound bad. I don't think about, you know, the money I have to input, which is like next to nothing.
Oh.
I view it as a reason, an excuse to get away and something to look forward to. So,
Okay.
I don't know about you two, but
these people are friends now. You know, they're our teammates. For a long time, it was trying to accelerate people and you know, lift people up and trying to, you know, the same thing you do with Ashley, and you know, and Eddie always puts his lost all his hair. It's trying to put these people on a pedestal and try to make their lives better through the screen. And but along that way, we have friendships, and you know, I mean, we have such good friends in this league. It's crazy on so many teams, and I mean, it's a part of our life now. Yeah, I mean, even it's funny just watching Lauren like watch a game. This is someone who you would think would not care until like I tell her she has a game on and she realizes it, and then I go downstairs and she's sitting on the couch drinking a glass of wine with a blanket, and I'm like, this is such a strange scenario right now. And you realize how it does displace people and take them out of whatever realm of what they know, and it transports them. And this league does a really good job at that. But that's it. Yeah. But for me, I mean, the biggest part is I just have so many friends here now, and they are my friends, you know. And you know that because when you say league, my mind shifts to Matt and it shifts to Rich. So, you know, that's what I think of with the league, you know, is putting those 4 numbers in the chat come the fourth quarter. So, yeah. So that's league to me. Okay.
And that's the beautiful thing.
If I may, I almost feel like, sorry to interrupt, I almost feel like it's also, at least for me, it's allowed me to connect to people that I probably wouldn't be able to connect with otherwise. I mean, if not for the SFL, I wouldn't know Mike. I don't know a whole lot about him. You know, we probably haven't talked much in the last few months or year or two, but when you asked me to come on, what was my first thought and opinion, if you don't mind me asking?
That you wanted to know if you could come on and actually have like a reunion kind of show.
Exactly. And who was the first name I came up with?
Mike Percoco.
Exactly. For me, when I think SFL, there are two names that come to mind. First and foremost, no offense, Mike, but first and foremost, and I've got to give him props and credit, would be Fox Highwind.
Okay.
If not for Fox, I would not be here today. It was I actually connected with him through Facebook years ago. We became friends. We started chatting. He brought me into the league, and because of the league and because of the minors, I was introduced to Mike. And you know, even though we only spent a short time together, I still feel like we have a connection, even if it's not a distant one today. So I'm like, if we're going to do something, I want to do something different. So let's have a reunion show, if you will.
And you did it. Well, halfway. You know, it would have been nice to have Mike Fox on too. You know,
Foxy. Foxy's a good guy. We always thought Foxy. So
of course, we could always save that for a different day.
That's true.
I knew he was looking for a team, but unfortunately, I wasn't a GM this year. So I know he was. You know, he has who's a linebacker? Who's someone's coming out of the draft, right? I mean, I know that would be against SFL rules or something, but hey, I'm not a GM or an owner anymore, so.
Just stepped out.
I don't know much. I'm not gonna lie. I haven't been because of my work schedule. I have been following things a whole lot the last season, which I feel bad about. But
Foxy's still in the league, right?
I gotta put the priorities first. So
I just realized on Monday that the Hands brothers are back. So you know, I'm a little out of it. Congratulations, by the way. I'm glad the Hands brothers are back.
Oh yeah, we are too. And they definitely came back with a bang. But I totally agree with you guys. Everybody's here for a different reason. Everybody stays for a different reason, but then they all seem similar. It's mainly about the community, whether your family has watched you have so much fun that they decide to join, or like, you know, your children are watching you now, they hearing dad's name on television, they get to see you, you know, you're like just run down the field and stuff like that. So it means different things to different people, and that's what I admire the most. And even when you have situations like this with two teammates that, you know, have branched apart, they get to come back together, you know, just to kind of, you know, shoot, you know, chill and, you know, relax together. I had to make sure I watch my words because it's not my other show. It's a good thing, and I'm glad that you guys are able to do it, and I'm glad that you guys are able to feel that camaraderie.
Like you're saying, I think back to, and I really wish I could make it this year. Work wouldn't allow it, but just thinking back to like looking back at the highlights of last year's
convention. Yeah,
that's what I was thinking of. Last year's convention, seeing everyone come together, you know, not just one team, but all the teams come together, and, you know, everyone getting together and, you know, bonding. It really, I feel like it really has created a community, and it's created a community where maybe not everyone, you know, has to be good at something. if you think about, like, say, if you look at like video games or sports or something, normally you have to excel in some way, shape, or form to stand out. In the SFL, I feel like all you have to do is just be you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all you need to do to stand out. I mean, at least I feel like in my own locker room, I stand out in my own locker room because I'm just being me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm just being a raccoon.
If you ask anyone from the Atlanta locker room what Billy Ray is known for, they're going to tell you two things: fruit baskets and dad jokes.
That is such an unusual combination, but
That's a very weird combo, yeah.
Oh, so do you put the dad jokes in the fruit baskets and give them away?
Baskets, right?
And vice versa. It depends. And you know what? In the fruit baskets were just like a weird thing I came up with out of nowhere. I think like I came up with it from like 90. Actually, I think where I originally came up with the fruit basket idea was from the old 90s TV show Roseanne.
Okay.
They mentioned fruit baskets one or two times, and for some reason it stuck with me, and I ran with it.
Oh my gosh.
So the ongoing joke is, when I signed my contract, I got a fruit basket.
Well, I'm expecting mine in the mail, Billy.
All right. Well, I'll talk to Siege about that next week. So.
Oh yes. Oh, you and Siege? Yeah, Siege. We cool. You ain't gotta talk to him. Coco,
hopefully they haven't figured into my budget.
Tell them it's for Ashley. You ain't even got to worry about it. That's gonna come straight out of their pockets. You had Mark and all of them.
Yeah.
Coco, where did you get your name, Raccoon? Why Raccoon? You could have been a fox. You could have been a cat. You could have been a lion. You could have been a panther. Why a raccoon?
You could have been a Billy Ray.
Marketing. My original name, my identity for online was actually GRZ. It was just a random 3 letters, and I used that back in the early 2000s when I first started playing video games that were online. And then as Twitch came around, it was a hard thing for people to remember, those 3 random letters. So I had to switch to something. I had to market myself as I became more available to multiple communities. So when I was a kid, I had liked Rocket Raccoon comics from the 80s. Well, Rocket goes back further than that, than the Hulk. But I liked them when I was growing up as a kid. And I've always had very dark circles around my eyes. So my Italian. So I settled on a raccoon. And then I had some artists mock up some drawings, and yeah, we went from the marketing from there, and that stuck. And then I never did anything with it, but it carried over to my Discord name. And from there, people just started posting raccoons eating grapes anytime I said anything, and that was it. Yeah, just now it's just random raccoons stealing stuff out of trash cans, and yeah, that's it. Now I just tell everybody they're trash, and have a nice day.
No offense, you look like you may still have the dark under the eyes there a little bit.
It is never going away.
Oh my gosh.
It is built in.
See, you can only get stories like that from places like this. There's nowhere else.
But no one knows about that in the SFL. I was never told anyone that. So you're first.
Well,
congrats.
I feel honored. Thank you. So I got just a couple more.
If you feel any better, my real name's not My real name's not Billy Ray, so.
Well, we can see what your.
we can see what your real name is.
I don't know if you wanted us to see that, but it's there. So, gentlemen, what are your thoughts about us switching over from 2K8 to their new game, 2K4? And I know you guys are, it's kind of late. So then after this, I got about 2 more questions and we're done. But what are your thoughts about your thoughts about us switching over?
I'll let you go first, Billy, because I'm a little jaded. So you go first.
I'm not gonna lie, I have not seen a lot of the new gameplay. However, I'm partially excited, partially skeptic.
Okay.
In the sense that I've become so used to the old gameplay, the old graphics, what have you. I'm so used to this old one of those, you go from an Xbox to a 360 or, a PlayStation. It's like, how different is it going to be? How are things going to change? However, at the same time, I feel like it will allow a lot of expansion in the league. I think, it was something that was bound to happen eventually. I mean, really, I feel like only time will tell. To put it nicely, only time will tell.
Okay. Gotcha.
I mean, if worst come to worst, who's to say we couldn't go back to the old system?
Exactly.
Not that it'll ever happen, but who's to say we couldn't? I mean, the league for 10 years, the league is 10 plus, give or take, what?
Destin.
10,
11, 12 years, the league has been built on.
We ain't going back, but yeah.
No, yeah, I agree. But if it wants to continue to grow, it does need to make the change. And I mean, I kind of felt like that from day one when I first joined the league. And interesting fact, up until about 2 or 3 years, up until I first joined the league, I have never once owned a gaming system that was not Nintendo based.
Wow.
When a season or 2 after I first joined the league, I actually went online and I ordered myself a 360, and I got myself a copy of, All Pro. So, not that I honestly ever did anything with it, but so I could at least have that option to me.
Mm-hmm.
And even from that day, I knew that if the league wanted to grow, it would have to change somewhat. And I feel like just this changes. I trust Cam, and if he feels this is the best decision, then we'll run with it.
That's it. Yep. That's the major right there. That's the last. That was the big selling point for me. Was so like as an owner and GM, which again I'm not any of them anymore because I sold my shares. God, I got my $2 back, and and I stepped down as GM and coach. Mostly because, some of the things I saw where I know where Cam's coming from, and he needs these changes in order to grow. He's right. He does. The league's always been about advertising space. It's always just, we could, people may not know this, but we can only store like 8 teams on a USB file, and how many teams we have on the league, you constantly had to transfer them, and there were so many ways for there to be errors. It was just getting out of hand. And the thing for me is, as owners, we weren't really asked, and pretty much made it like, hey, if I was going to ask you, this change would never happen, so I'm just going to change it anyway. Which, hey, he's got to do what he's got to do. But for me, that was a good point for me to be like, all right, I need to take a break. But the thing is, I'm still in the league, and I still pay a subscription fee, and Lauren still pays a subscription fee, because we do believe in Cam. We believe that he's, this is his livelihood. He believes in it so much that he wanted to make the switch in a season. So, it puts his food on the table. So, I will support him in that way financially. And maybe in a season, after I've taken my break, then I'll come back and I'll coach again. After Andy fails and goes 0-16, being a coach by himself. So,
can someone clip that one for me?
I'm sure they will. I'm sure.
No, he does. We'll see. We'll see how he does by himself. But yeah. All right. What's the next one?
So, a couple fun questions for you guys. If you had a chance to, you are okay. I'm not sure how techno savvy and how reliant on technology you've become. But do you think that you can actually go without technology of any kind for 1 week?
Hell no.
No phones, no internet.
Hell no. You don't even have to go that far. I'll still tell you right now. Hell no. About 2-3 hours max, maybe. I mean, you get me a good book, a nice stiff drink, 2 or 3 hours, maybe.
So no playing cards, no playing chess, checkers.
I can do all that. You give me, but more than 2 or 3 hours,
What about you? What about you, Coco?
If my life had started out with no technology, and my children had no technology from the day they were born, then I would be fine. But if there was an absence of technology in my house, I'm already starting to cry from the fear that is evolving inside me to think of what my children would do. And how much I would have to actually interact with them to a certain point. So, no, I wouldn't even want to think about no technology.
Okay.
It makes them worse, but it makes it makes it worse and it makes it better, I guess you could say.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Since it's so late, I'm gonna have. I promise I'm gonna have you guys back on so I can ask you some more of these fun questions. I've been getting a kick out of it, but I got one more. If you could explore in depth either the ocean or space, which one would you explore and why?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Since I've been asking this question, it's been balanced.
I was going to make a too soon comment right there.
No, Lord.
Maybe to change this question. Has it? Okay, I was going to say this question may need to be changed for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I'll go to I'll go to the space route, and that's God. If there's something, I know people are always going to say, "Oh, they're so close to home and everything," but I remember Mauna Kea. Shout out to Uverse in Atlanta. I'm standing on the peaks of Mauna Kea and looking up at the sky, and seeing the Milky Way basically for the first time, because I live in New York. You can't see the Milky Way from here, and something that beautiful invokes me to want to go out there and explore it at all costs. Especially if considering they're both equally as dangerous.
Yeah. Before I respond to that, Billy, what do you think?
My first thought is, with everything going on in the world, I almost feel like it's kind of a loaded question.
It's a loaded question. Yeah, he does this.
Just with that whole sub-Titanic news stuff going on.
This is why they say dirty things about her in owner's chat.
Yeah. Well, you know, oddly enough, the funny thing is when stuff started hitting the fan last week, I'm gonna admit I had no idea whatsoever what was going on in the news. It wasn't until I actually opened up just a random junk spam email that I learned about that whole sub whatever BS going on. Knowing that, I probably would still choose space as well, just because I feel like there's so much more out there that could be explored or could be, opened up to us then in a limited space like the ocean. So
that was actually the point that I was going to make. One has limits eventually. You're going to reach, well, you might, I don't know what's down there. You might reach the bottom, but in space, it's infinite, it's everlasting. It continues.
Exactly.
It's always something to do.
At least as far as we know, it's infinite.
Right. Exactly. But gentlemen, thank y'all so much for being on, hanging out with me. I'm glad I was
having me.
You're welcome. But before I go, I got to give you the last word. So that can be a song, that can be a poem, that can be a dad joke, or just a simple shout out. But right now, Billy Ray, the floor is yours.
If I had to end with anything, I don't know if this is something you could load up.
Okay.
I think I sent you a GIF before we started the interview.
That one.
Is there any chance you could possibly load that up and play it for us?
I'm going to try my best.
If you can, that right there would be my one and only, besides giving a shout out to Fox Highwind, that would be my last response, just knowing who my company is. On the off chance, I have the feeling if you can play it, he'll remember it.
Definitely. I'm going to see if I can get it for you.
If you can, if not, I understand. I figure it was a long shot. But that being said, Michael, it was great to see you on here. Hopefully it wasn't too much of a shock. I figured when she asked me a while back if I would come on, I'm like, yeah, I would love to. And it was my idea to try and have you on at the same time, just so we could try and connect one-to-one. Not that we ever have, outside of this, but
I know. I appreciate that. I'm glad it was you. It wasn't a shock, but it was definitely like a take back. When she
my brother, you'll always be my brother from another mother.
See, she left that part out. She said from another mother. She didn't say that. She just said brother. And when she said that last part, I would have gotten it right away. It wouldn't have been a surprise. She left it out. So,
but yeah, besides my GIF that I sent you, the little clip I sent you, which he might have. If he saw it,
I
he'll
already
remember.
got it. I already got it.
Michael,
You got it up?
this is for you.
And then I'm gonna play it as soon as it goes. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no
That's where it
problem.
goes? Okay.
This should bring back some memories, hopefully.
Kind of scary.
Don't worry, you'll love it. And it fits. It fits.
I don't know. Ash is going to play something. I don't know what it is.
I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Let me see.
I don't know if I'll be able to see it. Ash is going to play something
I know.
before I
So
go.
what I'm gonna do is splice it in. So when he said that, he's actually gonna just play. Because this is a live recording, so I wouldn't be able to. I don't know if I'd be able to show you what it is right now.
Act surprised.
Wait, let's see.
Let me see if I can share it. No, but then everybody no, you're gonna see it when you watch the playback.
There you go. Either way, you know what? Even
I'll do it that way.
gives them something. Gives them a reason to watch the playback.
That's right. We won't
right.
do
There
it
you
live.
go.
Live.
Thinking
Okay. What's your shout outs? Or if you want to sing a song, you can always start singing.
No, I got people all around me.
No, it's,
Maybe reach to the. Never mind. We'll talk later.
What was that? Okay. I don't know. I don't even have a quote. I was going to say something like a lie is like a cat running out the front door. It's hard to catch, but once it's out, it's impossible to stop. I don't know. That's all I got in my head right now because it's 12:42.
well,
So
We reach
I'll
to
leave it to
the.
guy that-
Never mind. We'll talk later.
we definitely get the gist.
Thinking about too many things all at once. Skateboard and
I'll get the
eggs.
guy who makes gift baskets full of quotes to say something as the last final thing with dad jokes. Gift basket of dad jokes. There we go.
Billy, you gonna say something before we go?
Sorry, no, I was going to say thank you. Sorry, I was trying to load up my web browser in the background.
Take us out, Billy Ray.
It just kept playing my old video that I was watching a few hours ago. So,
Coco said, take us out with a dad joke.
all right. Let's see. I want to keep it somewhat clean. So, why is justice served cold? Because if it was served warm, it'd be just water.
What? I get it.
It's what I'm known for.
Oh,
Makes it a dad. What makes it a
Atlanta.
dad joke? You have to dissect it. Yeah.
Hey,
God knows.
you know what? Don't feel bad. Atlanta's got to hear this like 24/7. Oh,
I'm a little bit jealous.
Oh,
But thanks, guys. Appreciate you for
thank
hanging
you.
out. Come back whenever y'all want to. Doors always open.
I appreciate
Thank you
it.
definitely for having us, and thank you for the idea and making it work.
Hey, man.
My brother from another mother.
Looking good, Billy Ray.
You looking good, Percoco.
Feeling good.
Feeling good.
Feeling good. That's what it is. It's been so long, I've lost it.
Don't worry. Next time y'all come on, you'll get it right then.
I will.
All right, love.
Thank
Y'all have
you
a
for
good
having
one.
me.
Thank you, guys.
Anytime. I'll see y'all later.
Have a good night. And again, happy belated birthday.
Thank you, Billy. Appreciate it. Bye, y'all. In 3, 2, and 1. That is it. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. And a special shout out to all of my guests that arrived tonight. I really appreciate it. Was able to kind of make some time out for me. And especially you, Diggy. Got any good words for people before we let you go?
Just a couple things. Stuff we've kind of already talked about quite a bit this season. One, I think the combine's a perfect example for us to throw out of don't be afraid to bring up an idea to the league. You know, worst they can do is say no. They could say yes, just like this one. And, you know, it could have been a flop. It could have been a hit. But you don't know unless you take a chance and jump. So, you know, don't be afraid to. I know a lot of people are thinking some things are a big responsibility. They're scared of failure and stuff like that. But if you don't take the step, you'll never take it. So you're always going to be needing to learn something else or improve somewhere. And if you're waiting to be, you know, I understand, hey, I'd like a season to learn something a little bit. But if you want to wait till you're 100% ready and know everything, you're never going to be ready. So do that step. The other thing I wanted to say was we talked a lot about keeping your head up this season in the SFLm. There was a couple teams that were riding the bottom and a couple teams that were, you know, playing pretty well, but they were just that far from winning these games. And, you know, you and I both push that, you know, we're not looking at your record. We're not looking at that. We're looking at the player and we're looking at your you know, personality and what you bring to the league and stuff like that. So congrats and props to Ottawa at the end, playing spoiler and finishing strong like they did. It was a totally different team to watch. The high powered defense and the offense just clicking and like some of the announcers were saying, you know, it's towards the end of the season. I mean, people are just like, hey, we're not making the playoffs. Let's just throw some stuff out there and see what works. So I think what they found, we might see a totally different team next season. I mean, the coaching staff stays together. They found some pretty good stuff. We'll see who comes back, what kind of tools they got to work with. And I'm excited to see what Ottawa can do next season. So congrats to you guys for sticking with it and finishing strong.
Indeed. Well, any given sim day, you can improve, and sometimes it takes you, even if it takes all season, to see that improvement. You know, it's always good.
Oh yeah, like Annette, what you Brown, right? The Annapolis improved all season, and it was, I mean, that was fun to watch him. You know, struggle at the beginning, but through progressions and seeing progressions be effective, how he finished out as well. I mean, a quarterback, congrats to him as well. So good luck to everybody on draft day and through the playoffs and everything. This is the exciting time for me. Off season, SFLm stuff, and then it just continues through it's actually a never ending time, you know, thing for me because it's football.
Indeed. Well, guys, you know, next time I see you rookies, you know, that are not involved in the playoff games or that are not involved in the championship games, you're going to be playing on someone else's team. And I wish you the best of luck. Much like Diggy said, I wish you the best of luck. I hope that you go where you want to go. I hope the teams that need you give what they need. But at the end of the day, as long as you're having fun, that is all that I care about. I hope all of you have a fantastic evening. And I'm looking forward to bringing you another great podcast next week, y'all. But until then, y'all stay safe, treat each other well. Diggy and Stryker, we're out.